a 5 technique tackle. Guys, where's the 5 line up? He lines up in the outside pad of the tackle, correct? So here we go. So he knows pre-snap, if he's on this side of the ball, if he's on the left side of the ball, what stance is he going to be in? Right hand stance, because we want to step near foot to the man. Our first step should be near foot to the man. So here's what we got to think about. When we do run reactions, when we do what's called press reactions, Mike's first step is predetermined. If you're playing tackle, you're playing nose in this defense, you know what your first step is. Pass, run, second and short, third and long, it don't matter. Your first step, you know what it's got to be. In this case, if we're playing press reactions, Mike shows just on air what your first step looks like. Set, hut. He's going to step and press. Probably his hips could be down. It's hard on air. Get down a little bit, though. Give us a good fit. Just put right here. High hands. He's got Z's in the knees. The head is up. The butt is down. The hands are higher than the head. I mean, we don't have our sled, but that's what we want. We're good. Now we're out. So here's what we're going to do. Based on what he does, it tells you what you do. So if the first thing that we got to think about is if Pete's down and he's the offensive player, get down. And Pete does an inside release, Mike has got to squeeze and replace. Ready, go? And replace. Good. Now we say squeeze because you can't let him run unabated. Meaning, if Mike Rogers stands still, Pete throws a rip and he goes blocks the linebacker, we lose. We lose. We can't. This defense cannot function unless you stop him. You've got to grab your hands on him. And so if Pete does what's called a down block, Mike has got to squeeze and replace. Ready to go? That's the squeeze. Now he's replaced it. Squeeze and replace. By the way, what gap does this represent on Peter? C gap. And now here's where the C gap is now. If Pete moves over here after the snap, that's the C gap. If Pete moves over here, now that's where the C gap is. So the shoulder is where the C gap is. So fellas, that's the first thing you got to be able to do. Saturday morning, if we look at film, we'll say we did a heck of a job or we stuck up the place based on whether or not we squeezed and replaced. If he blocks the linebacker, the defense goes right in the crap. We're not going to be able to play. So we got to make sure that we squeeze and replace. So we'll get him down. Now start to stand. Start to stand. Here's what squeeze and replace means. Set, hut, squeeze, replace. Perfect form. Look at the finish there right there, Mike. The outside hand is down. The inside hand up is fighting, getting ready to grab. We want this hand low, nearly on the grass. Why? So your pad level is low. That's good pad level. Z's, one more time, stand it. Z's in the knees, the head is up, and the eyes are looking towards where the ball started. You got to get over there. That's good. Okay. The second thing that can happen is a press reaction. So if Peter just wants to base block and press him, Mike's going to press him back. And as the defensive lineman, we want inside hands. We want to be inside hand, and we want to grab the armpit hairs of that offensive player. We want to be inside, pressing with arms extended. This is a press reaction. And this one will win because our arms are inside, our hat's lower than his hat, we got Z's in the knees. Once you press him, say you, red shirt, hey, stand up. Take a lap. You, go run around that goalpost. Come back, tell me what it looks like. Here you go. You got to make sure your head is up and your eyes are looking inside. Matter of fact, take 2 because you don't have your helmet. Keep going. Go. This is a press reaction. Okay, that's how you're going to press. Come back, stand tall. So now let's say Peter comes up and he presses in. Press him, Pete. And that might get sloppy. Get your hands low and your head high. Who wins this battle? The low man. We will lose this every time. I don't care if you took second in the state at 215. You lose this if you're standing tall, if your arms are low, because you're actually go palm up. This looks like you're, I don't know what you're doing. This is not football. You cannot do this. Okay, you can't do that. Jump out of here again. So here we go. So when Peter presses in, press him, Pete. That's good technique. Now show me bad technique. Like stand up, the hands are low, the head is down. This is awful. The feet are wide. It won't work. So come back again. So when Pete presses Mike down, Mike presses him back. He's got Z's in the knees. His pad level's lower. He's grabbing armpit hairs. His eyes are inside. That's where he belongs. It's very good. Now the other thing that can happen is Pete can pull. Right now, if Pete pulls this way, we follow. So Pete's down. Sign your stance. Come back. Pete's down in stance. Set. Hut. He pulls. We chase and follow. That's our response. Ice in the backfield. Once he pulls, put your hand on his hip and follow him. Here, go one more time. Say it, hut. Squeeze and follow. Ice in the near back. Come back at you. Good. Okay, come back again. He can base block you. He can down block you. He can pull. And the one that we get hurt on sometimes is if he hooks you. This is how we symbolize a hook block, correct? Hook block, take a couple steps towards me. Right now, Mike is in the C gap. That's his job. That's where he's at. Get your eyes over here. If he steps to his outside pad and hooks him, now he's lost his gap, so hook him. Right now, Mike has lost his gap. Is he a C gap player now? No, he's a B gap player. That means we got 2 guys in the B gap and nobody's on the C gap. If Pete finishes this block and drives him in, where do you think the ball's going in that play? Right here. So we can't lose the C gap. So when Mike presses him up, Peter hooks him, Here's the response. We go push with the outside hand, pull with the inside hand, and rip back out. Push, pull, rip. Kind of like the button jerk, so to speak. Because it can happen. Because, you know, Mike's first step, he knows what it is. He's stepping near foot to man. Pete steps outside foot. Now Pete gets outside control. Pete's got the outside position. That's an alarm. His head's got to be screaming, saying, I've got to readjust. And readjust, push the outside arm, pull the inside arm, and rip back out. That's push, pull, rip. If you get hooked, that's what you got to do. The other thing you can get is you can get a high hand. Show us the kick slide, Pete. That's a high hand. If he does that, that's probably a pass. Now, it could be screen, it could be reverse, it could be draw, it could be a couple things. But if he does that, then we go to our pass reaction. So Pete gives us a high hand. Now Mike's got to beat the hands however he wants to. He can swat, sweep, club, whatever he wants to, but he's got to get to the outside. Any questions on that? All right. Let's go back to the 4-bag drill, please. Let's drag that one over there.